But see, we focus on things a little different though too, where I don't want to live on the broker board. I'd rather have a great relationship with my carrier base. So all the things you were talking about being an asset-based company, I have the same thing. And let me explain that because it's different, but it's the same. So you're talking about having your drivers, your fleet show up, specialized equipment, so on and so forth, right? But if we have a carrier operations floor that is focused on just the carrier, so not the customer, their job is to make sure the carrier is taken care of, making sure that that carrier has everything that he or she needs to be successful. What happens is you start building that relationship, and that relationship gets so deep, they want to come back and work with you again tomorrow. They want to come back and work with you again next week. Well, hey, I have a customer that needs specialized equipment. Could you position yourself to do that? And I could give you more freight. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So what happens is if you have a carrier sales floor that focuses on the carrier and makes sure that he or she has the right information to make them successful, the rates that they need to be successful because they come back, there's a happy medium between making sure the customer gets the best rate possible and making sure the carrier gets every single penny he needs to be successful, because I want he or she to come back and work for me again tomorrow. I would argue that I take more pride into making sure that that carrier's taken care of. It's kind of like the Steve Jobs theory. If you take care of your people, they're going to take care of your customers. It kind of works like that in a brokering firm too. If you take care of your people, which for us, the people that's actually working is the carrier. If you take care of the carrier, then ultimately they're going to take care of your customer, because the customer only, I mean, I say this loosely, there's a lot of reasons, but the customer cares about speed to market, the price, making sure it gets there intact, and then make sure that their end user, their customer, is satisfied. But who does all that? It's not even me, the broker. It's the carrier. It's the carrier that meets all of that. Yeah. They're setting the price point, as you already, even if it's low, they're setting the price point.
Well, nowadays market, on the broker board, yes, they're setting the price point. But if you're working with certain customers, they're setting the price points.
Yep. No, that's right. That's right.
How did this even happen? Has this been like this forever?
It's a feast or famine. Yeah, we're in a natural reset right now. Mm-hmm. Right now it is a shipper market. Mm-hmm. The shipper kind of gets to dictate that. The carrier doesn't have the leverage that they did back in COVID, because right now there's more loads. There's more carriers than there are loads. Mm-hmm. So what happens is you have all these carriers just fighting and chomping at the bits to almost cut each other off at the knees, because they're just trying to provide for their family. They need to make a buck today. They're in survival mode. Yeah. I just need to make it work today to get to tomorrow and hope the industry kind of fixes itself. Hopefully it resets.
And what that ends up doing, it ends up cutting out small fleets like us, because we can't compete with that. We can't compete to get by.
Well, your costing structure is different, right?
It's more expensive.
If I just have one truck, I have a set fixed rate on that truck. I'm trying to cover that cost plus something to feed my family. And it's pretty simple. It's a simple box. Mm-hmm. This is what I have to cover. This is what I need to make. Well, when you start adding to your fleet, there's a lot more variables that come into play, right? Especially when you talk about driver turnover, which has always been a huge thing in the trucking industry. I used to work at a company a long time ago that their turnover rate was 350%. They had to hire 3.5 drivers in hopes to keep one in the seat every week. So they're bringing 4 or 5 people in.
The average for the industry is 100%.
It's crazy, isn't it? So when you talk about a guy that owns one truck, one driver, he ain't worried about turnover. He ain't worried about training cost, because he's it. He's the guy. He's the man. He's the one. So maybe he gets one truck for his son or brother, whatever, but it's a small fleet, right? But when you start getting to that 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, 100 trucks, the bigger you get, more money, more problems, right?
Yeah, no longer are they 1099s. Now they're W-2s.
Yep.
Now you have to have workman's comps. Now.
It's not even talk about insurance.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're having to fix and train these drivers because the industry's not, or the schooling and stuff they're going to is not training them properly. Thank you guys for tuning into That Trucking Gospel. New episodes every Tuesday. You can find us on all our social media platforms. Thank you guys. Till next time.